advanced rolls, tough going, to the flash and stuff. I actually think that's quite interesting.
Welcome, guys. Welcome back. Welcome to the podcast. Hello, everyone. If you joined us in the premium group, then thank you. We just had a pre-show.
Oh, we better go live.
You better, Elliot. Can you stop reading your book, please?
Hello and welcome to the Hellstorm podcast. I am Commander Dante, the leader of the Imperium Nihilus, and I've come to talk to you today about. Can I reveal it?
Yes.
The Blood of Baal!
I mean, you just had it on stream, but whatever. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the pre-show before we actually start the podcast. Welcome. This is just to make sure all the sound's okay. Can you hear Elliot? Can you hear Tank? Say hello, Tank.
Well, I mean,
hello.
I will clear up. Can you hear me?
It's like,
oh, it's me. Oh, sorry. It's not Dante. It's Elliot.
Everyone, can you hear what
Sounded better for your Vox Grill.
Yeah.
Vox Grill, yeah. What? Can you hear any music in there? Is it like
It's
orchestral?
just like orchestral music.
Gives you like
yeah.
a Batman voice.
Every now and then you hear.
So welcome, guys. I apologise, we're a little bit late. We had a few technical issues. We just had a pre-show in the premium group, so we're going to
Tell them
do
the truth, Mike. You were waiting for my mask to dry. Can you imagine? You can all wait.
I need my mask to be dry, please. Thank you. Okay, so I'm just going to make sure we're live on all the platforms. We're definitely live there. We're definitely live there, and we are live. Should be live on Facebook as well. Maybe. Let's find out. We are live there as well. Cool. So we're live everywhere, which is what we want. So today I've got Tank and Elliot, and this is the first time you've actually been in face on the podcast, which is cool.
Yeah, I've appeared from the warp.
From the warp,
I've never been here.
Technological.
Oh, it was just a
voice
conference
transfers.
call from me.
Yeah. So welcome everybody. I hope everyone's well. We've just been talking about all the chapter approved stuff. So can you just tell us if the sound's okay before we actually start the podcast, and then we can start and go. Welcome. That's how I open it, isn't it? So. Hope everyone's well.
To the Hellstorm.
Thank you everyone for tuning in. Got lots and lots of people in, which is awesome.
Are you on YouTube?
Yeah.
I'll do Twitch if you want.
Cool.
Yeah. I smell heresy, says Dan Aelstrom. Aelstrom. That's a pirate metal band, is Aelstrom.
Hellstrom is the second name of the Gestapo officer in Inglourious Bastards.
Hellstrom.
Yeah, his name's something like Open Fiore Dieta Hellstrom.
Oh, this is Aelstrom though, or Alstrom. A-H-L.
Oh, Aelstrom.
Yeah, like the band. Aelstrom.
Okay, I went off on like a weird World War II Nazi tangent for no reason. Thank you, everyone.
Let's not talk about Hellstorm and Nazi tangents.
Probably safe to keep it away from that content. Yeah. Yes, you are correct.
So what's
I'm going to put the gold
agenda?
mask back on.
So we're going to be I'm just waiting, making sure no one's answered if the sound's okay. So that makes me think either no one can hear us or the sound's fine.
Yeah, no one's moaning yet, are they?
No one is moaning. Is the sound okay so we can make a start, lads? Need your help on this one, please. Please help.
Please
help. Anyone? Anyone know? Anyone know?
Anybody?
No. Das. I'm really concerned about the sound. Yeah, sounds great, says David Baxter. That means we can start. So, now we're going to start the podcast. Tank, are you ready?
I'm ready.
This doesn't need to go back on, does it? People already know.
I'll
try and fool the audio viewers.
Yeah. Welcome, guys, to the Hellstorm Wargaming podcast number 23. The podcast is officially... Do you want to clap as well, Elliot?
I was going to do 23 and then I thought that might be too many. That was 29.
Damn.
It wasn't, I didn't count.
The podcast is now the same age in terms of number as it was when I first started the channel at 23.
Oh,
that.
That's not how maths works.
It is.
It's Michael Jordan's number 2.
There you go.
And David Beckham when he went to America.
So, Tank could be a little louder. Okay. Tank, can you tell me what number you are, or letter you are on your box?
My box?
On your voice box. The transceiver.
Where is it, Elliot? 8?
It should be A or B.
A. Group A.
Thank you. Just going to turn Tank up a little bit. Then we'll actually start again.
Dial me up to 11.
Yeah, that's just talk very clearly. You're on 15 now.
Sweet.
So welcome, guys. Hellstorm Wargaming podcast. Welcome back. We are live currently on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. So welcome if you're watching us live. You're watching us listening back on the podcast, and thank you very much for tuning in. We've just done a quick pre-show in the premium Facebook community. talking all about chapter-approved points changes. We've been basically answering questions, generally chatting. We're going to have a quick chat about chapter-approved today and Blood of Baal, which is the brand new Blood Angels / Pyramid supplement. Just want to say a massive thank you to Games Workshop for sending us chapter-approved 2019 nice and early, and sending us Blood of Baal. Thank you, Elliot. And obviously we have the field manual, which is all the points. If you want to listen back to the podcast, it's on iTunes, Spotify, and SoundCloud. If you want to listen live, we go live usually on a Wednesday, but this is a special one because it's released day. Yeah. We are allowed to talk about this now. We've been allowed to talk about it for about 8 hours, so hooray! But before we get into the proper podcast, obviously, if you want to support us, then share it with your friends. You can support us financially on the website and stuff like that, all that rubbish. We've got the special segment, the favourite segment of the show.
I've never actually took part in this. I think I did it once on my own. Yeah, I had a cornetto. Do you remember?
You did review a cornetto once.
I had a review of a cornetto.
So
I think I got to the bottom and there was no chocolate in the bottom. I was outraged.
It was an absolutely devastating cornetto.
Like a faulty one.
I remember saying something like, "This is Brexit Britain."
So let's go into the YouTube's favourite show.
Do we need to make noise now?
It should be playing a sound.
How come there's a traffic cone?
Oh, the desktop audio is muted. Brilliant. Okay, 1 second. Sorry, guys. That was just terrible.
That's the program that is using the traffic cone.
YouTube favourite show.
It's time for the food review.
Make sure you guys can hear it as well. You want to listen to it live? That's what everyone else can hear. There we go. Cool. So, welcome to YouTube's favourite show. It is time for the food review. So, we have a very special food review today because we have 2 things in front of us. Elliot, are you okay?
Yeah, I just want some paper. Can I have some paper?
You want some paper? Yeah, sure. 1 second.
Yeah, I want to be able to write notes, Tank.
Okay.
You know, like we're naughty.
Yeah, there's a book.
Perfect. Right, okay. I'm going to find a page. So, I have some predictions for the food review. I'm going to write the... God's sake, you need some more paper. Right, here, what? This says... Dreadblade. Pets. Demonic vigor.
I want to say a massive thank you to Ross, or Nuka-Cola, from Instagram. He sent some stuff from Australia. He sent us a lot of snacks. We've actually running out of Australian snacks. This is one of the last few.
Oh, the Aussie ones.
So we have some jerkies on the table. We have 2 types. We have a dark brown one, and we have a light caramel coloured one. We have a light caramel coloured one. You're not supposed to predict. You're supposed to taste it and guess. That's the point.
These are my predictions.
We've been smelling it.
You've been spelling it.
Mikey, you need to develop a hypothesis before you test it.
Okay. So can you guys hold up a piece of jerky each, 1 colour each?
Are you going to start with the light one?
I'll start with a diarrhea.
Yeah, so don't eat it yet. So we have dark brown and we have diarrhea brown. Thanks, Tank. So we're going to get Elliot and Tank to try these. Elliot first, because I reckon Tank will get it straight away. Because he's that sort of person. And you got to guess what you're eating. So Elliot's going straight in. Do you want to talk about the colour of it? I'm going to try it with you as well. So this colour, it's like a dark brown. It feels rubbery. It feels like jerky.
ASMR. Now,
That's quite nice.
quite nice.
Me and Elliot are eating the same one. Tank's eating a different one.
What's yours like, Tank?
It's
Just don't guess the animal.
it's definitely not something I've eaten before.
Oh, really? Wow, okay.
I don't think so. It's obviously like it's not a red meat. It's some kind of like a white meat, almost like it could be a fish.
Right, okay.
This fits in with my predictions.
Okay.
It's definitely not. I don't think it's like a mammal or a bird.
Okay. So, Elliot,
It could be
what do you think about what you're eating right now? What do you think?
I think it's quite nice. It definitely has almost like a hoisin taste, like a plum sauce. You don't think it's like almost like quite Chinese style?
I agree. Yeah.
I do like jerky. I like biltong and stuff. So
Yeah, you like that? Do you want to Tank? Do you want to try some of this one that we're eating? We'll review this one. I was going to say let's hold it up and then we can eat this one first and then guess and then we can eat the other one.
So, like in appearance and texture, it's more like the jerky that you can be used to.
Yeah, it looks like beef jerky. Though.
It's like a red meat on first appearance.
I'm gonna take a swig out of my Bepisnort.
Bepisnort. So it's, as I said, this one's quite rubbery, but it's kind of like traditional jerky. If you didn't know, when someone said this is beef jerky, Me personally, I'd be like, this is weird beef jerky, but it's beef.
Yeah,
It's got a bit more of a gamey flavour.
yeah. The texture's not quite on where beef jerky is.
So like, I'd say like it's more likely to be like maybe a wild animal because it's a bit more gamey.
Yeah.
And that more natural diet.
Okay. So we're going to play a game. See who can score most points. There is a total of 2 points available. So, Elliot, what do you think this one is?
I think this is kangaroo.
Okay. What do you think this one is?
That would be what I'd say too, and I'd be influenced just because it's Australian.
Mm-hmm.
If you hadn't told me it was Australian,
It was
I probably
you.
should have kept it quiet.
Yeah.
It was you that said it was Australian, wasn't it? I mean, I've kind of like passively cheated because I think you've mentioned what these are to me before, and I think that's buried in my subconscious.
I won't say the same as Elliot though.
Okay.
Just to be interesting, I will say like emu or ostrich.
Someone has suggested Tasmanian devil.
Oh.
Would that change your answer?
Emu or ostrich? I didn't even consider those.
It's a red. I'm going to say ostrich.
I was kind of half.
I think
hoping-
Tasmanian devils are too sort of rare and small to make jerky commercially from.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I was kind of
Did you
hoping
both
you'd
enjoy
say
it?
koala, so that I could.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah, I actually quite enjoyed it.
Nice.
You're not going to tell me it's like. It's
I'm
not
definitely going to keep.
It's not
actually
human now,
human.
is it?
Is that? I actually scraped it off my arm earlier.
I'll still eat it all.
So Elliot, shall we try this one?
Can you snap that one in half? I really don't want a full bit of this one.
Eat it, or you can just
If
bite
if
it.
it's what I think it is, I really don't want to eat it, but I'm going to.
They're quite nice.
So this one is, again, it's like a light brown colour, or, you know, feces.
That's like the texture of cereal. That's like a block of.
Oh
Weetabix.
yeah, it's like I don't. Obviously, if you listen live, you can't watch it. It's like cardboard. It's like dry paper type.
That's dried in a really bizarre way.
And it smells
Oh
like
my
tuna.
word! Never get into Warhammer because somehow you will end up eating dried meat products on the internet.
It's definitely either a fish or a reptile. This.
It tastes a bit rubbish. There's like no flavour.
I like it. I think it has got flavour. I think the brown colour will just come from the seasoning on this.
You reckon?
I think it's like a white meat.
It's a lot like crunchier and snappier than the other one.
Brittle.
I think
What is
guessed
it?
what it is. No. It's crunchier and snappier. So, it's a bit weird though. It's weird how it breaks. Because again, it snaps like it's like not MDF. Like fiberboard
yeah.
or something.
MDMF.
MDNF.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like fiberboard.
Surprise, guys! It's asbestos.
Isn't it good that we get private healthcare as being part of Hellstorm Premium?
Yeah.
Private healthcare is me role playing an apothecary in the shed.
Yeah. I think I'm put off by this one, but just because I know what it is.
That's where I'm at with it.
Yeah.
So I actually put it down, and I actually thought that looked the nicer of the two.
Yeah.
And then as I started thinking about what they are, I was like, I really don't want to try
what do you
this
think
one.
this is? This second one.
I
Don't look at his predictions.
know, but because he told me, it's obviously biased me. But
Yeah.
I would have said like a fish or a reptile. So because it's Australian,
Shouldn't have said it was Australian. I gave it away.
because
you
it's
did.
Australian, like crocodile is like the classic.
Yeah. Would you have said crocodile?
I think I've heard you talk about crocodile
Yeah.
jerky before.
So yes, this is crocodile jerky, and that is kangaroo jerky as well.
I can't believe I've just eaten kangaroo and
How
crocodile.
weird is that?
It's good.
It's weird, isn't it?
It's cool, yeah. It's like a nice little.
Yeah. 1 second. You can entertain the chat.
My vegan and vegetarian friends won't talk to me anymore. Do you want any of that? I broke it with my hands. So you
I'll
can
eat
have
it
that
all,
if you
mate.
want,
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
It's all good protein.
There's actually a third flavour. So we have
Don't tell us what it is. Don't tell us what it is. Is it Australian?
no.
I'm deducing by the fact that he didn't put it out originally. That's like the least interesting one.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's one that he really wanted for himself, but
Or
changed his
maybe
mind.
it's disgusting.
No, if it was disgusting, I think.
Spider jerky.
If it was like tarantula jerky, put it
So
out
you're
for
gonna have to
us.
split this one
Why are we gonna have to split
because
it?
there's only one. So I'm gonna break this into thirds.
Ooh.
You want the smaller bit, Elliot.
I love the smallest bit. Yeah.
So we have the third
Excuse
one,
me.
which is like a dark colour.
Looks like we're back to red meat.
Again, it's got like a.
More beefy flavoured this.
And but it does crack like crocodile. This is like bonus point because you basically both got them right.
Ooh. This one's interesting.
This is bonus point.
It's quite strongly flavoured, this.
Yeah. Very interesting. It's like...
The texture's interesting.
I don't like that one.
I don't. I finished it because I don't like wasting food. But
I don't like that one. I took one bite out of it. I'm not bothered.
This one's like a lot more interesting than the other two.
I'm throwing it at Elliot now. Yeah, that's very weird. It's like it's the same texture as the crocodile one, but then it's a really strange flavour.
this is why I don't come and film the podcast here. 'Cause I get to eat nice things like cornettos.
So it's currently the score is 2-2. So what would you say that one is? Who wants to answer first? Fingers on buzzers. Ready?
My diet's rubbish. It consists of like pizza and chicken.
Well, someone said to me that crocodile was like fishy chicken, and it didn't taste like chicken at all. It tasted fishy, but.
So this could be any meat. Are you going to give us anything more to go on?
No, I'm not going to, because I gave away way too much.
Mate, there are so many animals it could be.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for like a wildebeest.
A wildebeest. Okay.
Okay.
Elliot, game breaking now. It's tied. So if you get this right, you win the game.
I think it's like really gamey. Is that right? Did I say the right thing? It had a really strong taste.
Yeah.
That makes me feel like it's like I would have said like a smaller animal.
Ooh.
Yeah. I'll let you say like if you say wildebeest, because it is, well, if you say wildebeest and then we'll say like a boarish type, four-legged mammal, what would you say it would be? Would you say
Well, boar would be like a pork, so it'd be different.
I suppose. What would you say it is?
So, actually, you just said what I was going to say it was. I thought it was going to be like... So I've had boar before,
Like a wild
and I've
boar.
had like boar sausage, and that had a really strong taste. It wasn't like... It reminded me of pork, but it was very different at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the only thing I can really base it off.
So you're going to go for like a boar?
I'm going to go for like a wild boar, but the
You're
fact
gonna
that
go for
you've put it
wildebeest.
out there as like... Oh, it could be like a boar makes me think that it's not, because he wouldn't have just give it up that easy, so...
Yeah.
Tell us-
I would have thought you would have gone for a different type of animal. That's why I said we'll say yours is like that sort of animal. That's
So
what
his
you
is
would say.
bovie or whatever it is.
If it was something funky like a dingo,
Bovine.
I think he would have given it us first time.
The thing is, I didn't give you this one because it's a pack of 3, and I didn't realise they came in 3 sachets, so I wouldn't have known which one's which. But it actually says on it which sachet is which. Who would you have guessed that was emu?
Oh.
Emu. It was emu. So this was 3 tastes of Australia in 3 sachets.
Right. No,
So-
I would never have guessed that.
So I thought it was just a random pack just full of jerky. So I was like, oh, I can't get that out because I won't know what's what.
That was that might be my least favourite.
Yeah, I didn't like the emu.
No, that had the worst taste.
Yeah.
Kangaroo was actually quite nice. Like I
enjoyed
really
the
enjoyed the
kangaroo.
kangaroo. Do you want to split that last bit?
Yeah, I do that.
Like this one. There's another one here.
Is there?
Mike eat that one, you eat all that one.
Sound.
Yeah. And then there's
Need your protein
more
for football.
crocodile tank.
Yeah.
How weird's that, though?
I don't like kangaroos either, dicks. So. Have you seen them like trying to kill
It's
dogs?
like a
and-
cereal.
They're aggro, aren't they?
Yeah.
The crocodile's definitely like a weird cereal bar, I will say that. Hellstorm Cooking Show, creating 40k dishes for the universe. Coming next week on Hellstorm Wargaming. It's a cooking show, so I'm not even joking. So yeah, so there you go. So that was the food review.
A lot of culture, really.
You've got to review it now. I mean, you both lost the game because neither of you got the last one.
Thank you, mate.
You guys smashed that crocodile.
Got any more crocodile?
Oh, I'm good for crocodile.
I've got a whole pile of crocodile to myself. I'm really
Smash it.
excited.
I'm really glad that I've eaten an animal that has eaten a lot of people.
Yeah.
Is that a weird thing to? Is
Snappy.
that a weird thing to be like happy about?
Yeah, well, we're the apex predator in the world, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite interesting that Tank's got a plate and he's decided to pour all the crocodile onto the mat.
It make you feel more like you're in the wild.
Such a hound is like, oh no,
Growl at Elliot.
my food must be on the floor before I can eat it. I can't eat it off a plate.
Like this.
You'd have to put it for your eye socket and drop it down.
Right, there you go. There you go. That was the food review. So do you want to give it out of 10, Elliot? Do you want to give us kangaroo?
8.5.
8.5, really good.
Solid. I love
Yeah,
that.
like a proper beef jerky. Crocodile?
It was very inoffensive.
Mm-hmm.
It was just,
It's like survival food, isn't it?
yeah, you could eat that like in the same way that like when people eat like the glue. Like in Stalingrad, they ate the glue off the spines of books. And that's like proper survival tackle. Like I could not eat.
So you're saying crocodiles on a day if you're about to die, and then what about emu?
Emu, I'd rather eat poo.
Eat a poo.
I'd rather poo into my hand and like eat it.
Tank.
I would
kangaroo?
actually.
Start with kangaroo first. So 8.5.
I'd probably agree kangaroo is the nicest.
Yeah, I enjoyed the kangaroo.
I'll give that like an 8.
Wow.
I'm going off like sort of like biltong and really nice ones being like a 10.
Yeah. So comparable to beef jerky. It's like not as good, but it's nice.
It's getting there. I'd say I'd actually put the emu as like
I think that's fair.
a 6 or 7 just because it's interesting and tasty.
Yeah.
It's quite rich, so
was
if
too
you had a
rich for
lot,
me,
it
yeah.
might get a bit rich. But and I do like this crocodile. I'm going to eat it all. So I'd at least give it a 6.
But
Yeah. If that
was
emu was any,
after that, or was that it?
No, I was going to say like if it was like horrible to eat and you were sort of you could eat it to stay alive, but it was grim, it'd probably be like.
I love that's how you compare it. Like you compare a crocodile to like you'd eat it if you needed to stay alive. Basically, I mean you can literally buy it in a supermarket where like it's so bad you'd literally eat it.
The best way I can describe it: if you put it in front of me, I'll happily eat this and I'll enjoy it. But
you wouldn't buy it.
If I was looking at the shelves, I'd probably get myself some emu or kangaroo, depending on my mood.
I'm fancying an emu today. So I think if I had to choose, I'd choose beef jerky every time. But I don't know if that's just because I'm used to it. I'm not used to like kangaroo just being off the shelf and just being able to eat it.
No, I think biltong's the nicest. If I was offered biltong or beef jerky, I'd take biltong.
Yeah.
Chili sticks.
Yeah.
That's the shit. Man.
Yeah, the crocodile was a bit meh. It's a bit of a strange flavour, and I think the texture ruined it. But then emu, I just didn't like. Too strong of a flavour, I guess.
Yeah. It was very strong.
Yeah. Well, there you go. So
There's the food review.
numbers, I'll say 6.5. We'll say for kangaroo, I'd say 5 for crocodile, and so plus a 3 for emu. We'll eat it again.
Emu's a bit of a love-hate kind of.
Clearly.
Probably quite a polarising.
I wonder what it's like with Marmite on.
That's good.
So there you go. That was a
Vegemite.
food review, everybody. That was a food review. Thank you very much for tuning in. We did all right there. So that was the end. That's the end of the podcast. That was it. I'm only kidding. So we are actually going to be reviewing chapter approved as well as Blood of Baal while eating weird jerky. Thanks again to Ross for sending those. We are actually running low on
cheers,
snacks.
Ross.
We're actually running low on snacks. If you want to send us some, then drop us a message because we will review them.
Please feed us.
We have some more interesting stuff from Ukraine. We have Skeptablat.
What flavour are they?
No idea.
We've got a big cheese there.
Cheese
so...
and chive, maybe.
Yeah, they look like it'd be quite nice.
Yeah, we've got some black flavoured Craysco.
Ooh. Licorice sticks.
Black.
Just black.
Black isn't a flavour, it's a
It
colour.
just says black. We've got some
What
banana
flavour is it?
flavour.
Black flavour.
I mean, I could have been nice and just give you these, which are basically just biscuits with icing on. But I didn't want to. I wanted to give you something weird, so I didn't have to eat it on my own.
We tackled it, I think.
Today's one of Michael Shredder's, wasn't it? Anyway.
Yeah, I can't have too many sweet stuff. I had rubbish food before.
Yeah.
Needed the lean crocodile jerky. That's me on crocodile jerky for the rest of the night.
So, today we're going to be talking about chapter approved, Blood of Baal, and the field manual that came with chapter approved. I want to say massive thank you to Games Workshop for sending this nice and early.
Thank you, G-Dubs.
Super cool of them, so we can review it and talk to you guys about it. Mikey, will you review dog bacon snacks? No, I won't.
I will if he sends it. I'll eat it if he sends it.
From Neil. I ate one whilst I was drunk once because Sam gave me one, but there you go.
I think I was there.
Yeah, it was out there in my garden.
You're a terrible person.
So we've actually played a game with this today. We played Tyranids versus Blood Angels. No one saw that coming. With the Blood of Baal book. There we go. So Elliot and Tank, you've been playing Blood Angels and Tyranids today.
We have, yeah.
Talk us a bit about what you thought about how it was. Obviously, you don't have to give us a spoiler.
No spoilers
but,
on the game. You tell them what you think about Blood Angels.
Blood Angels compared to what they used to be. I mean,
You
you've seen the
give them your view, having played them, and I'll give them my view, and then I'll do the NIDS first. And
We'll alternate, yeah. I think, I'll be completely honest with you, I haven't played Blood Angels much, so it's not as if I'm an expert on them or whatever else. They have some interesting new tools in terms of, for instance, we saw Sanguinary Guard have picked up a few stratagems, like them being able to re-roll their wounds on the bolt guns. That one.
Minimum damage 2 on the weapons.
Minimum damage 2 on the weapons. They can ignore cover with the bolt guns now. So they've been given a lot of things to play with. One specific that I'll give you is they've got a really nice special issue war gear. So Icon of the Angel, which I took today. It's not too much of a spoiler. That's a banner that if you within 3 inches of the banner bearer, any jump pack units get to re-roll any of their charge dice. So not just re-roll the charge full, you can pick. So for instance, it worked today. I rolled the 6 and a 1.
Yeah, so you re-rolled the 1, didn't you? Twice for 2 charges for the sanguinary guard.
So that was, I think that's really strong, and that's give them, because something that Blood Angels really struggle with is getting into combat. Like you get on the board, you're 9 inches away, and then you struggle.
It means you can do your you can use your 3d6 on one thing and that on another.
So we used to just get the one tool. It was like that was your one way of getting into combat.
Yeah.
But now it's given us more options to play with.
Yeah.
So I think it's made us more versatile in terms of a combat army, which is really interesting. It's great that we've been given Bolt of Discipline and the tactical doctrines, etc., shock assault, all that
Combat
stuff.
doctrines, extra attack when all the assault doctrines active.
Yeah, so the Echoes of Savagery, is it called like that?
Savage Echoes, I think.
Savage Echoes, yeah. So that's the Blood Angels like super doctrine.
Yeah.
And when they're in the assault phase, they get +1 attack if they charge or are charged, isn't it?
Yeah. So Death Company on the charge have 6 attacks each with thunder hammers and 7 with chainsaws.
Dante had 8.
Yeah.
Smash Captains are going to have 6 before you start looking at the Death Company rule and
Red Rampage.
Yeah. It's going to make them a lot harder to deal with in combat.
Yeah. What I should add as well is they've obviously, because they've got combat doctrines, you've seen a lot of meta armies souping chapters. So you've got Raven Guard, Imperial Fists. Now you can soup Blood Angels in there if you wanted to, and have to no issues really.
Yeah.
You'd lose your extra attacks, wouldn't you?
You'd lose Savage Echoes of Savagery or Savage Echoes.
But they get so many attacks anyway. I don't think that's a huge loss.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, if you're taking like an Imperial Fist list that's relying on Devastator Doctrine, now you can put Smash Captains in there as well and not lose it, which is really good. Really good. As just as an example, like my Raven Guard and Imperial Fist doesn't rely on Super Doctrines, for example.
No.
So I could have put 3 Smash Captains in there if I wanted to. Yeah. Which is cool.
It's given us the Angels of Death special rule, hasn't it? Which is just massive.
Yeah, which is really good. So hopefully, Space Wolves get that. Obviously, their book has essentially been announced today.
We were talking about this before. We can see no reason why they wouldn't.
Them and Dark Angels and probably Grey Knights.
Yeah, we'll all get doctrines.
Because essentially what's happened with these Blood Angels is, if you imagine in this book, Blood Angels have got all like the good core stratagems from the 2.0 Marine Vanilla Codex.
Yep.
So, for example, they've got Transhuman Physiology, half damage Dreadnoughts. They've got all the intercessor cool ones like
rapid fire and bolters.
Make the Stalker guys snipers, rapid fire bolters. So all those like solid, good all round basic strats, they've got all that. Yeah. And if you imagine that their original codex becomes like their supplement.
Yeah, essentially, yeah, because what you've got is like Blood Angels Codex and then the Blood of Baal supplement for Blood Angels is essentially like having Space Marines and White Scars. It's the same sort of, I won't say exactly the same playstyle, but it's the same on combat like power level.
Yeah.
You've got a combat army, then they're probably about the same.
I'd say they've written they obviously play differently and they've got their own flavour, but I'd say power level wise, they're probably quite similar to White Scars.
If you said to me that Blood Angels were a supplement to the Space Marines and you didn't show me the books, I wouldn't know because they're essentially the same. They've got the same basic strats. They've got their own flavour strats and own flavour units.
Yeah, I think there's about 3 or 4 sort of Blood Angel only strats in here that relate to like Death Company and Sanguinary Guard. And everything else is just as copy and paste from the really good.
There's 3 pages of stratagems.
Yeah.
I'd say 1 page is Blood Angel specific.
All the cool stuff that Marines 2.0 Codex got, they've got. So
we're missing out.
And they've got litanies and
the coolest addition, in my opinion, is the name generator. You laugh, but it's actually so. I love that. I think that's so cool because I've had, as any nerdy homebrewy type person has had, the conversation with yourself where you're like, what am I naming this? Like, this librarian, what is his name? And now
we gave names to all your characters, all your troops. didn't we today?
Every single one.
We only had time to film a couple, but we did do all the intercessors off camera.
Every single intercessor, yeah.
We did. We wrote them all down. Wrote a story about each.
So, for instance, the name of my librarian today was Furian Ravini, which is probably Furian's a really good role of a forename, but Ravini is probably one of the worst ones.
It does sound like an Italian.
It's like a ravine,
centre-back.
but not quite a ravine, so it's Ravini.
So you could be like Furian Afiel,
or
Furian Moriar. And Moriar is such a good callback.
Everyone laughs at the name generator, but we absolutely fit when we were doing it.
Yeah, I was loving it. I was like,
having a great
especially the Tyranid one, because the Tyranid one's like,
just bizarre.
Let's have a look. Let's have a little look.
So let's call out a random one.
Yeah, where is it? Where are we? There, I see it. I see it. Right, I'm gonna pick.
Has anyone got a dice?
The worst sounding one.
Here we go. Just randomly choose two.
I'm trying to think of. I'm trying to get one that's dirty, basically.
Trying to make. Here we go.
I mean, that's always good for a dirty one.
The creeping tendril.
The creeping tendril. Amazing.
The prowling menace.
The sudden scream. Yeah, but they basically all have names like that. So like the Dark Echo, the Ravening Shroud, the Rising Barb, which is what I had when I found out that there was name generators on the book. The Rising Barb.
So you'd think they'd all just be like clicks and squeals and stuff, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Like dolphin noises.
But they're always what... so it's what we, as humans, give their name, don't we?
Like Old One Eye, he didn't call himself the Old One Eye.
Imagine.
For example. All right, pal.
It is me, Old One Eye, and I'll turn out to go compliance.
So Blood Angels are super cool. They got a really good buff.
Yeah, I'm really, really happy with the way it's gone. I haven't had a chance to get into the lore yet, but there's quite a lot in there, which is really nice for us just to get like, here you go, here's some dedicated fluff for your faction.
Yeah, if I was a Blood Angels player, like if I got something similar for Space Wolves, like basically combat doctrines, a super doctrine, all the good strats from the Marine 2.0 book, I'd be super happy to get something equivalent, because it's not going to be the best. It's not going to be as good as Imperial Fists.
It's going to be like running Salamanders or White Scars, isn't it? They're going to be really good. They're not
I think Salamanders could potentially be up there. I just think people haven't figured them out yet. But that's another top. But basically, if you play, you can go and probably win a GT if you're a really good player with pure Blood Angels.
Yeah.
But they're not so good and broken that
everyone's going to start taking hordes of death.
They've got a higher skill level to play.
If you take pure Blood Angels, you're going to have a really strong army, but you can sort of retain your special snowflake ability.
Yeah,
because not everyone's playing it.
Yeah,
so as I said, comparable.
Because there are easier Space Marines to take, right? Iron Hands are easy to take. Imperial Fists are still easier to take than Blood Angels.
If you're playing a shooting army, it's easy to play.
The output you could probably get from these is arguably up there as well, but I think to make it work, you have to try a lot harder.
They're more of a thinking man's high skill army, same as White Scars.
You're not really worried about the fact that Toby went 4-2 with crap Grey Knights. What's he going to be like with doctrines and extra straps? I dread to think.
Although we have
absolute GT winning.
We have seen him do worse with better lists, so
yeah, true.
Maybe a crap army brings out the best in him.
Yeah, I think there's too much pressure on him when he's got a good list. I think he's like he knows that he's expected to win, so he's like.
But imagine if we went to the Alliance Open with another 80 points in his list, combat doctrines and loads of extra straps.
Well, wasn't there a teaser at the Open Day about what's coming next?
Yeah, well, we know that we have the...
Toby's coming to the Iron Man GT at the end of February with me. And Grey Knights, he could have his supplement by then.
Have his supplement, ready to go. So there's 3 new books that have been announced by Games Workshop today, because it is the 30th, which is Warhammer 40k Open Day. So there's 3 books that seem to be Dark Angels, and then maybe one with Grey Knights and Thousand Suns, and then one with the Saga of the Beast.
Saga of the Beast, that's got to be...
Who's the Beast guy in Space Wolves? Because there is the Beast in there.
No, you're not thinking of the Beast, which is the Orc, Prime Orc.
I do know that, but there's sagas in the Space Wolf Codex, the Waller traits.
Every Space Wolf has killed the Beast, haven't they? Because they all have to go out into the wild.
The Saga of the Beast Slayer is a warlord trait.
Do you know who has to take that? If there's a named character who has to take that?
I think you're thinking too hard a bit.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm not.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be that specific.
Me and Elliot were talking in the car. I think we'll probably get a Primaris Njal Stormcaller.
Yeah.
Because his model's super old.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Either him or Ragnar.
I don't think they'd do Grimnar now because
Grimnar's got a nice model already.
It fits with Psychic Awakening as well.
Rick as well. He's already got a nice plastic model.
Yeah.
So I think
Njal.
Njal.
Yeah, Njal's is horrendous.
Nigel.
It's like one of those old flat ones, like dead little.
Yeah. Well, he has the Terminator version, doesn't he now?
The Terminator one's better, but Ragnar's also got a terrible, really old model.
Yeah. So maybe one of those. Which would be really
Ulrich
cool.
the Slayer takes Saga of the Beast Slayer, says Stuart Hay.
Thanks, Stuart. There you go.
If Ulrich the Slayer's already got a relatively decent model, that's probably not going to be who we see ramped up.
No, because he's plastic chaplain, isn't he? So it's interesting though. So there's 3 new books coming. JW says Nigel's model is so small it reminds me of more of a squat than a space wolf. Yeah,
Yeah, indeed.
So we've obviously had Tyranids as well. Tank, you've returned with the Tyranids.
Yeah.
I mean, I bought them off you, then you're the only one who's played
So
them
the
since.
Tyranids. Okay, so
And give us a quick overview of what you thought before, what you thought after, maybe.
what I thought hasn't changed. Tyranid players are going to be disappointed, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
The current competitive builds, like the Kraken Gene Stealer build, the shooty Carnifex list, and like the miserable like 300 Termagants list, they're still going to be the best.
Yeah.
Unless I've missed a trick, nothing in this book makes any of those any better.
Yeah.
Nothing in this book is sort of a stronger alternative to them.
Or nothing immediately jumps out.
Nothing immediately jumps out.
Not that we've seen.
As you'll see when you watch the battle report, there is some
nice tricks.
There's some play with stuff in there, and if you want to kind of take a bit of like an off meta with some like weaker choices, it can make them slightly better than they were.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be truthful. I think it's a bad supplement for the NIDs. So I'll give you some examples. The stratagems are all like mostly. There's 2 or 3 pages of stratagems. They're all specific to. Very specific to a particular unit. Like there's, for example, there's one where an exocrine in your army can move and shoot as if he stood still, which means he can shoot twice.
Yeah.
Why not just say any unit can move and shoot twice? Like that's kind of what Marines get.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be broken, but if
lackluster, isn't it?
Yeah, if it meant your Hive Guard could move and not get the heavy penalty, like.
Yeah.
They're nice stratagems, but unfortunately they've been ruined because the Space Marine ones are just better.
And there's like one where like Hormigants can get -1 AP for 1 CP in a combat phase.
Why not any?
Why can't you just put that on any unit in the book? Because like the things like the Salamander book, they're fantastic. There's these real like any unit can get +1 to wound this phase, shooting or combat.
Yeah, it's
like
quite interesting with the
toolbox versatile.
Because they've got it's 1 CP to give a unit +1 to wound, but then Imperial Fist it's 2 CP to get +1 to wound against one other vehicle, rather than the entire unit getting +1 to wound against everything. It's one unit can shoot one other unit and get +1 to wound.
And then
it has to be a vehicle and it's 2 CP, so twice the cost.
Then we go on to like the custom chapter tactics, which is a really cool idea, and there was a lot of potential there. However, firstly, nothing that they've put in there is good enough that people would want to drop like the Kraken. Or the Jormungandr for their cover save in the open. And the other thing is, it's not like you can't have like a successor Hive fleet so you couldn't have like a Kraken successor where you lose the fallback and charge and the 3 dice thing, but you retain that really good Kraken stratagem.
Yeah.
There's no option.
Change your keyword, don't you?
Yeah, you change your keyword and
Hive fleet Tankos.
And again, they're very specific to. They've got like all like type conditions and types. For example,
the monster ones. Bonkers.
Yeah, like even with the Eldar custom things, it was like your whole army ignores cover with this.
Yeah.
Your whole army gets a master artisan's equivalent with this.
Yeah.
Hey, awesome.
Reroll a hit and a wound per
So,
punch, for example.
Space Marines could have stoic endurance. The whole army gets 6 up, feel no pain.
Mm-hmm.
The Tyranids get one. Their equivalent is monsters in your army get a 6 up, feel no pain. So that's like cut half of the codex out already, provided they have not moved this turn.
Yeah.
And there's no enemy within 1 inch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And from turn 2.
And from turn 2 onwards or something. And it's like, why not just say take this chapter trait and your army gets a 6 up, feel no pain?
Yeah. Or even just monsters get a feel no pain.
It still wouldn't be brilliant. Yeah. And
it's just very, very specific and it's very situational.
Yeah, and there's one like...
for half your chapter tactic, half your hive fleet. This is so situational.
Yeah, and there's one like... I think there's one that says it's a 6 up invulnerable save, but only for like infantry or something, or... And like Gene Stealers get one anyway, so it's like...
Yeah, so it's just gaunts, basically. Gaunts and
yeah, and then there's what's the other thing? The adaptive biology... No.
Adaptive physiology.
Yeah, there's adaptive physiology. Now this is...
kind of like warlord traits, but for a unit.
Instead of a warlord trait, you're allowed to take an adaptive physiology. And there's also a stratagem in there, which allows you to give another unit an adaptive physiology as well.
It was certain units, wasn't it? It was like infantry or...
Well, they're split into different types. There's a few adaptive physiologies that can only be used on infantry, and some that can only be used on monsters.
Yeah. Essentially, they're like warlord traits, but you can put them on other units.
Yeah,
now like warlord traits.
It's a real shame because obviously your warlord can take one instead of a warlord trait. Great. And that stratagem to put it onto a unit is great, but then that stratagem can only use once per battle. And,
yeah, so it's like 2 units.
And they're not super... There's some alright ones, but they're not like so... I don't know why they didn't say if you spent the CP, you couldn't just choose one for 5 different units.
Yeah.
Because the strength of the adaptions you get, they're not so strong that it'd be broken if someone... Because like there's one that's quite good that we used in the battle report today, where you can give a monster a 5 up invulnerable save, which is really needed, and they can act as like double the amount of wounds like Iron Hands do.
Yeah.
And that's like really good, but I don't see the harm in being able to put that on like if you're playing Carnifexes and maybe 2 Exocrines.
Yeah.
Why you can't spend 5 command points and give it both your Exocrines and your 3 Carnifexes.
Yeah.
It wouldn't break the game.
Or even make them unique, so you can take more than one, but you can only take each one once.
And then
like like warlord traits, because you can like hero for the chapter like in Space Marines as many times as you want.
Yeah, and then
you can get like 3 guys with the warlord.
So it's called Progeny of the Nine, and it says at the end, doesn't it, specifically you can only use the stratagem once per battle, which is just like
it's a bit of a shame.
Yeah, it's only 1 command point.
And there's one like for infantry only. When resolving an attack against this unit with an AP of 1 or 2, treat it as an AP 0. I mean, outside of... You could put it on Hive Guard, and it'd be all right.
It's essentially Salamanders have that.
Or what they called the troop choice one, the 3 wound Tyranid Warriors.
Tyranid Warriors.
Be all right on them, but I mean, you put it on all your little bugs and stuff. They've all got like 6 up armor saves anyway, so...
I apologise, Game Anticore. So you can't hero the chapter more than once, but you can give one guy 2 warlord traits and then someone else a warlord trait. So that's 3 already.
Yeah, and you can pretty much do unlimited relics in Marines, can't you?
Yeah, you can.
As long as you spend the CP. So I don't see why they couldn't do that the same. It's just like it's not like horrendous, but it's not competitive, and I just don't see it's not consistent with the rules design with the Marines. I don't understand it.
So a couple of people say, I should just say, one of the books that has been announced, it looks like it's for Tau. It's called The Greater Good.
It's literally called The Greater Good.
So that's book 5, because this is book 3.
I'd love it for it to be like not about Tau, but it to be like about an enemy that's preparing to fight the Tau or something.
Yeah. A lot of people are saying that the NIDs, it says classic NID writing, the strats sound very law based, so which they are.
Yeah, the only list that I could think of that could be like competitive.
Here we go.
Using this book.
Here we go.
And it would be miserable to play with.
It would be.
But I think it would win. I think if you took 2 battalions and you had, if you took -1 AP for Scything Talons.
Yep. What's it called?
Biometallic Cysts.
Yeah.
And then you took the one that gave a 6 up invulnerable save to Termagants, Hormagants, and Gargoyles.
Adaptive exoskeleton.
Again, why couldn't that just be any unit, the whole army? But who cares? I care because I like bugs.
I was going to say Tyranid players care.
So if you took double battalion, if you took 2 Broodlords, and 2 Malanthropes to make them all fearless and -1 to hit.
Yep.
And then like 300 Hormagaunts.
Like
10 units of 30. And then all the Tithing Talons are going to be AP -1.
Yep.
There's a strat in the book to make them -2.
Yep.
And then...
Is that per unit or is that all across?
No, it's just the unit you spend it on.
It's one gaunt unit that you can do it.
And then that 6 up invulnerable save across 300 saves. That's like saving like 50. It's like having 50 extra Hormagaunts.
It's not bad, a 6 up invuln. I mean, when you've only got 6 saves.
And you can put like, you can cast Catalyst on a unit. It's giving 5 up feeling pain. So, I mean, it'd be sadness.
I mean, that's why a lot of people run the Orc one. What is it? Is it what they call them now?
Pain Boys.
Death Skulls.
Oh.
Are they called Death Skulls? Where they get the reroll, the hit, the wound, and the damage, but they also get 6 up invuln. The blue ones.
Yeah. Because they've got like lucky face paint kind of thing,
exactly.
haven't they? Yeah.
I mean, it does make a big difference when you're shooting bolters into stuff and they still have a 6 up save.
That would just be the most miserable army in the world to play. I mean, if you could spend like sort of 4 or 5 CP and give all the monsters in your army 5 up invulns, you'd be talking then, you know. But it's a shame. I think they've missed an opportunity because with like a few tweaks to make things like less unit specific and
again, as people have said, it's quite lore based, which is cool. If you're already a Tyranid player, you're gonna have a great time because if you're already playing Tyranids, you know, every Tuesday night with your mates or something like that, then you're gonna have a great time. You've got loads of new stuff. I mean, what we're saying is competitively, a Tyranid list looks exactly the same.
Yeah, you're not going to see anything. It's not like LVO is going to be dominated by Tyranids now.
But you could see some Blood Angels up there, I reckon.
Yeah,
that's what we'd say.
Yeah.
So overall, did you guys enjoy Did you like the new stuff that came out?
Yeah, I think it's a great addition.
Yeah, what you mean? What we're talking about? It's the Blood of Baal book.
Yeah, I know obviously Tyranids aren't super competitive now, but are the updates cool? Did you like them? Did you say?
Yeah, the Blood Angels. I love what they've done with them.
Yeah, Tyranids they haven't done enough, is what you're saying.
Basically. Tyranids they should have given them more. Yeah.
Yeah. So
just to be consistent with how they wrote the Marine rules.
Yeah. But we played a chapter approved mission. So again, we got chapter approved nice and early. We played one of the new Eternal War missions, which is cool. So what they've done with this, they've taken, I got it wrong, it's 3 missions from chapter approved 2017, 1 mission from chapter approved 2018, and then 2 new missions for 2019. So
bizarre mix, isn't it?
The missions they've kept were Scorched Earth, Ascension, and Frontline Warfare, which are from chapter approved 17.
I like Scorched Earth.
So that's the one where you've got 6 objectives and you can burn your opponents, which is cool.
Yeah.
Ascension, essentially, like you've got, I think it's one which the 3 objectives where all the characters have OBSEC, which is cool. And you score points for how long the characters hold it. So if you hold it for like 3 turns, it's worth 3 points at the end of the turn, and then 4 points, for example. And then Frontline Warfare, where you have 4 objectives and they're worth so much at the end of the game. But then you've got Crusade and Lockdown, which are new ones.
What did we play today, mate?
We played Lockdown.
I really like that mission. It's good.
So Lockdown is mission 6 for Eternal War. It's essentially you have 6 objectives. Whoever goes first chooses which is objective 1. Whoever goes second chooses where objective 6 is. And then you randomly determine all the other numbers. And then at the start of each battle round, depending what battle round it is, that number disappears. So battle round 1, number 1 disappears. Battle round 2, number 2 disappears. Until there's only 2 left. And that's really fun.
It's like as you both have less and less models, there's less and less objectives.
Yeah, so you're constantly like swapping places. You're like, oh my god, I have to kill this unit over there, but that objective disappears in a minute, so maybe I'll just ignore it and kill that unit that's on objective 5, objective 6.
It's a cool mission. I like it.
Yeah. Are all deployment rules who get first turn identical? That is an interesting question and one I don't actually know.
Definitely the one we played was deploy your whole army.
We played a new one though, didn't we?
Yeah, obviously I've picked up both of them. Yeah, so all the deployments are the same. Deploy your entire army,
So they have got that. Do you want to tell them about that attacker and defender system?
Yeah, so
that's a bit different.
So the way first turn has ever so slightly changed. Not a lot, but ever so slightly. So what would not happen normally is you roll off, whoever wins chooses sides, but then the other person sets up first. So usually if you lose the first roll off, that's better. Because then you can go second. Go first, sorry. The other person who won the roll-off goes second. But now what it is you roll off and they decide who will be the attacker and the defender. So essentially the defender chooses sides but then sets up second. And then the attacker goes first. So basically what happens is you roll off, then you decide who sets up first and second at that point. and then whoever sets up first can choose to go first as well, or second. So there's like an extra step where you can decide to go first or second, which is quite interesting.
Yeah.
Because what it means is, again, most games, the first roll of the game, you want to roll really low because you want the other person to beat you. So they settle first, and then you settle first, and you go first.
Yeah, it's a bizarre system of like when we went to that tournament recently. I kept thinking, well, I want to lose these rolls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that shouldn't be how the game is. The winner should be in the more advantageous position. Not, I've lost the time cost, which is better for me. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. So it's a bit weird.
It's a good move.
I want to roll low so I can set up first because the opponent chose sides, and then I go first. But now it's like I've rolled high, so I'm going to make you choose sides, and then I get to set up first.
Yeah, exactly. You shouldn't be punished for winning the roll-off.
Yeah, exactly. So they give you a choice now. So it's like there's 2 steps where you can choose to go first or second. Bon Claudia said, I disagree about it being good for casual play. This is going back to Blood of Baal. Even in a casual setting, the Marine army is so far apart power-wise to the Tyranid player. I apologise, Bon Claudia. If someone's bringing Marines to a casual game, then they're not.
Yeah, if someone's bringing like the janky successor chapter list to a casual game, that's not a casual game.
Yeah, if you want a casual game against Space Marines, don't use a supplement. Just use the base codex.
Yep.
Yeah, he has got a point. I mean, even if you,
I totally agree, though.
Even if you just bought a start collecting Marines set, type
you're
list
doing well.
to a game, Nids are going to struggle, aren't they?
Yeah. If you play, I think, as I said, like if you're playing Warhammer 40k right now, you'll have fun if you don't play against Marines.
Yeah.
But
the rest of the game is fine.
I was going to say Marines are the exception. It's not like, oh, well, Marines are out now, so everybody's army should immediately become broken.
Yeah.
I think Marines are the problem, and they should be addressed. Not every other army in the system should also become broken.
It's clear from the Sisters book that
it's a mistake.
Yeah, it's a one-off.
Yeah.
We've gone a bit too much. What we've been saying between us, like in Age of Sigmar, obviously I know it's a different rules, right? It's a totally different team. But what we saw was General's Handbook come out, and 2 armies were quite strong, but they would only just come out similar to basically the timeline between Space Marines and the
Were Flesh Eaters the first one that were like super strong?
It was Flesh Eaters in the Skaven book were really, really strong, but they weren't in General's Handbook, which is their equivalent of Chapter Approved, if you didn't know. Because they've only just come out, so what they did on the day of release, so this would be their Saturday coming, they released a PDF with all the new points for those books because they were super strong already. So me personally, and maybe probably a couple of other people are thinking maybe we'll see something similar. Maybe on Saturday we'll see a PDF with Marines changes.
There's a lot of rumours, and often where there's smoke, there's fire, isn't there?
Yeah, it should be quite interesting. I mean, don't hold your breath, but I also wouldn't go out and buy a Space Marine army today. I'd definitely wait until next week. Just
the things that seem too good to be true, I'd definitely hold off your purchases.
Yeah,
you can't go wrong with like your intercessors and stuff, I guess.
Because Space Marines as a whole stayed the same.
Yeah.
What we saw was non-codex compliant chapters like Dark Angels and Blood Angels had their unique units come down a lot of points.
Yeah.
2 points, 10 points, 15 points here and there.
Neil's touched on an interesting part of it. Normally in the fluff, when Space Marines turn up, they win. And whilst that's true, it's that most books are told from the perspective of the Space Marines. You don't want to read a Space Marine omnibus and them get smashed every single chapter.
That's basically what happened. We're all reading a novel and it's written by a Space Marine.
It's written from the perspective of Space Marines. The Space Marines are going to win. It's like in the Avengers movies, like, oh, the Avengers always seem to win in the end. It's like, yeah, because it's the program's called The Avengers.
They do generally win the war, but they do lose battles.
Yeah.
Like, for example, when
they lose wars
when the Emperor's children showed up on that murder planet, the sort of what were they called, the arachnids? They'd like slaughtered loads of Blood Angels.
On murder?
And they found all
Planet Murder, yeah.
They found all Blood Angels just dead everywhere, didn't they?
Yeah.
Was that book 1 or book 2?
That's one of the first ones.
Was it Fulgrim?
It might be False Gods.
Was it in Fulgrim?
The first 3 books.
I don't think it's in Fulgrim.
Because it was based
it's
around
alluded
Emperor's...
to because Horus goes as well.
Because it's Emperor. It's centered around Emperor's children, isn't it?
Yeah.
Murder.
Yeah.
But we digress.
Yeah. Germantico said, well, it would be good to get a few extra points in those more obvious things like Thunderfire Cannons, Assault Centurions. Yeah, we said the same. We think that Space Marines should get a little point bump for some of the best units like Thunderfire Cannons.
Like what are Assault Cents? 40 points base?
Something stupid.
I think like people would still take them at 50 base.
Yeah.
And I think...
Because they're 100 points cheaper per unit against Grav Centurions.
I think like 55, 60 possibly might be around right for them.
Yeah. It was in Fulgrim, that book. You were right. Yeah. Chapter Approved also gave us Maelstrom of War, which is obviously a staple. You have 6 Eternal, 6 Maelstrom. And Maelstrom's completely changed, which is quite interesting. if anyone read the White Dwarf that came out a few months ago, they basically did a trial run of this. So they call it Schemes of War. So there's 6 new Maelstrom missions. But what you do is rather than taking your whole deck, you build a deck of 18 cards, or 18 or more, so you can run your full deck if you want to. And then you have basically a different way to play. So you keep all your cards hidden in these missions, so you don't tell your opponent what you've got. You at the end of the morale phase, you can discard any cards you've got in your hand.
Nice.
And then you get some extra stratagems as well. So like reprioritize, use your stratagem at the start of your turn, discard up to 2 cards from your hand and draw 2 more cards.
Is this match play Maelstrom as well?
This is match play Maelstrom, yeah. So this is probably what you're going to see in the likes of ETC.
Yeah,
they're probably going to pick this up because they were already trialing this out. Now this is kind of like confirmed it.
Didn't they have they had a build your own deck thing last year, didn't they?
Yeah, so this is essentially the same. So you've got tactical foresight, so use your stratagem at any point. You can look at the top 3 cards, choose to put them back either top or the bottom of the deck in any order. You can only use this once per turn.
Like you said the other day, it'll be interesting to see if they have to do like a house rule on all the ways that Marines can manipulate the cards.
Yeah.
That other codexes can't.
Because all Marines can have stratagems to play with them depending on what chapter that you're running. So a Raven Guard can like stop you scoring one, and Iron Hands make you automatically discard one and stuff like that. There's another one that's called Determining Push. It says use this stratagem at any point during the turn. Select up to 3 tactical objectives from your discard pile and shuffle them back into your deck, which is pretty cool. So you just open because
it's like playing Magic.
Yeah, exactly. So you got scrying and top decking and stuff like that. So like the issue with Maelstrom is you always draw crap cards, right?
Yeah.
That's why people don't play it. It's like, oh yeah, you won because you drew every single card you needed at that one time.
And I kept pulling
another land card.
Defend objective 5, the one that your 2 Imperial Knights are sat on. Yes.
Yeah. You kept drawing swamps when you needed mountains, for example. So essentially, you have a hand of 5 cards all the time. So it's really interesting, and I mean, there's
You've activated my trap card,
You goodbye.
Blackluster soldier. Sorry.
I haven't actually read any of these missions yet, so I don't know the main changes of actually how they work. But I've read how the actual Maelstrom building changes. I do actually really like it, which it makes me want to play Maelstrom a little bit more.
Yeah.
Compared to being like, I can't be asked to play it because I'm going to draw 6 cards that can't.
Oh, I've drawn Witch Hunter again as a tile player. Yeah. Witch Hunter would be fine actually as a tile player. What is it? It's a
Master of the Warp.
Master of the Warp. Yeah.
So it's Mr. Bridges. Yes, it is basically they've tidied up a bit of wording. So it's essentially what you saw in White Dwarf, but they've made it core rules, which I really like. So that's a really cool thing in Chapter 3. I'm just trying to catch up. Chaplain Dreadnought did get cheaper.
Yeah, 30
Mortals
points.
went up in points.
That's a crazy one, the Chaplain Dread getting cheaper. But like we said, I wouldn't go out spending a load of money based on this right now.
Nope.
Managed to get a metal Thunderfire.
Yeah, give it a week or 2 after the actual book's on the shelf, if I were you.
Yeah.
The GW is not going to sell out of everything, so.
No. So yeah, I'm going to say, I mean, we obviously mainly focus on matched play on the channel. We do the odd narrative game here and there, but they have added a lot of open play and narrative play stuff. So they've got a new way to play open war cards, which is where you randomly draw cards and that's the mission you play. They've got ways to play an open war army generator, which is kind of like the name generator, where you decide what type of units you can take. So let's just I'll quickly skip to it. Open war generator. So you choose your power level limit, and then you have like different unit types tables.
And then you roll, and it says your army will consist of 1 to 6 super heavy units.
Yeah. And
Thanks, Open War Generator, for the best game of 40k ever.
Funnily enough, they've brought back Spearhead play, which is something that they did in Apocalypse, where you basically only have tanks, and you have Warlord tanks and stuff like that.
That'd be sick.
Linked games, so you can like make like narrative stories and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, like that's quite cool. They've
put a lot of effort into this book, haven't they?
I was just about to say, I think this book, there's your open war army generator.
Nice.
It's even just nicer, as you touched on before. It's just a nicer book to look at instead of the old ones where they were just like grey pages and it was pretty miserable. It was like literally you had to be hardcore into Warhammer to want to read this book. Now it's actually quite nice. It's quite vibrant. There's artwork in there. There's lots of high detail photographs.
Because if you, as I said to you guys earlier, if you oh, that's interesting. I know this is a bit random, but there's a picture of a Land Raider there, and the door's at the back to front. But there you
Oh. You're like the master at spotting things like that. Like when we were at that tournament and you'd notice that Derrideo's legs were on backwards.
Yeah. I'm just so anal like that. It's unreal. Especially when it comes to Space Marines, I'm just like, I just spot it straight away. Like, I was trying to buy a Tech Marine earlier, and it was the loader from the Thunderfire Cannon, and I was like, have you got the Thunderfire Cannon? I said, no, that's the one that comes with servitors, and I had to, like, hold my lip, because I was like, no, it's not. It's got the loader on it. But yeah, what we'll say about this book, it's very, very colourful compared to the old one, so I'm actually quite interested. I mean, look at the artwork. I mean, look how cool that is.
Yeah, that's sick.
Which I think is new.
Yeah, it is. It's Chaos Knights, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, we say new.
I mean, new for Chaos Knights. I mean, I've not actually noticed it before. But like the old chapter approved, it was very much like an index.
Kangaroo.
the old chapter approved was very much like the index, where it's a lot of grey and drab and hardly any colours, whereas this one's full of colour, which is like, I know it's such a minor thing when you're playing Warhammer, but like when a book's like this vibrant, it makes you want to look through it more, which makes me think, oh, I might look at the narrative stuff, because I mean, look at these cool pictures that are actually in there.
Yeah.
Rather than before, it's a bit drab. So again, I know that's a real side topic that no one cares about, but it's interesting. It's very interesting. So.
Someone once said they'd love to see a narrative back rep for the Devastation of Baal novel. They could be in luck.
Yeah, we kind of played one today.
Yeah. We might have played a battle on Baal.
Yeah, it was almost like, well, no spoilers. Yeah, no spoilers.
Yeah. I will say as well, they've taken the fortifications and put them in here, rather than being in an index now.
Mm-hmm.
They've also added battlefield terrain, so they've given proper rules for terrain, which is essentially what was in the rulebook.
Is there any change to ruins or anything?
There is no change to... Oh, actually, maybe. The FAQ'd all the ruins from the rulebook, and I think what they've done is they've printed it here, so it's just only infantry, beasts, swarms, and units that can fly can be set up or end their move on the upper floors of any ruin. Infantry can scale the wall. Infantry units that are entirely on or within a ruin get benefit of cover. Other units have to be on and 50% obscured. So it's not even beasts have to be obscured. So it's just infantry that can claim that cover. But I think they've just reprinted it and they've added like Death World forests. This is the Eldar specific plastic trees and bushes and stuff like that. They all have special rules. Like there's the Eldritch Ruin, adds one to deny cast and deny test, which is quite fun.
No one will ever use that.
No one will use that, mate. But I mean, if you are playing with it and you bought it, then you will get to use it. So, but yeah, I mean, chapter approved. It should be interesting. I mean, it's only we mainly play ITC tournaments as well. So I mean, the new missions aren't going to make much of a difference. But like Games Workshop heats are going to start using these new missions, for example. So as I said, we played Lockdown, where it's 6 objectives, and then they disappear at the start of each battle round. But then there's Crusade, which I think is essentially you score a point. For every objective amount you control at the start of your turn, which is cool. There's 6 objectives, so there's quite a lot there.
That Mephisto model is insane. Yeah, there's something similar in the Brother Baal book. We've got Theatres of War. I don't know whether you covered Theatres of War and Faith and Fury.
No, not really.
So essentially, it gives you cool, like if you were playing in a theatre of war, exactly.
They're like reenactments, aren't they?
Kind of. Well, this is like battlefield specific rules. So they've given you one which is Irradiated Wasteland. So there's like little rules like tough going, subtract 1 from advanced rolls made for infantry units, harsh exposure, which is subtract 1 from the leadership characteristic of models in infantry units whilst they're not wholly within a terrain feature.
You'd think Nids wouldn't give a shit about radiation though.
Yeah.
Like they say, like cockroaches can survive nuclear fallout and stuff.
But are they cockroaches or xenomorphs?
So there's interesting part in the Devastation of Baal, for instance. There's
smaller.
There's this sand on Baal. I can't remember what the sand's called, but it basically drinks the fluid out of everything. Oof. So it immediately dries. So like humans drink it and they like turn to dust.
So it's like those sachets you get in your jerky.
Yeah, it's silica. Yeah, it's basically just like mega silica. And the Blood Angels like prepare a trap for the Tyranids and they all fall into this like water. And they all like die screaming, but the Tyranids, as you said, like they do fall prey to it, but then they adapt.
Oh, okay.
So they just like pile bodies on it until there's like carcasses, and then they walk across the carcasses.
Legends.
Yeah.
World War Z style.
Yeah, Manticore has pointed out that Necrons still die to poison weapons, so why should they die to radiation?
Yeah.
You'd think Necrons would give off radiation.
Yeah.
Probably. They're pretty clean technology.
And the Admech Rangers, not the Rangers, the other ones, They're like radiation boys, aren't they?
Yeah, so they have irradiated guns.
Give off radiation and drop people's toughness, don't they, as well?
Yeah.
I was just going to say, I've been having a look at the Maelstrom of War. I know I've just literally read one. There's one where you, at the start of your turn, your opponent draws 3 cards from the top of your deck, puts 1 to the bottom, and then puts the other 2 back in any order. Called Disruptive Tactics. That's quite cool. So
that'd be a blue card.
Yeah, lots of like little ones. There's like critical objectives. So basically, at the start of your turn, you can take 1 from your discard pile and put it back in your deck. So there's a lot of little funky stuff, and I mean, again, it's getting me a little bit into the idea of playing more Maelstroms. I tend generally just avoid it. So
Poison works on Tau battle suits as well, and it shouldn't.
I'm sorry, Tank. I mean, they should also be vehicles, but there you go.
Nah, battle suits, mate.
So could be corrosive poison. I'll add the Xenomorphs from Alien. So
yeah, like haywire poison.
Yeah,
it wouldn't be a poison if it's corroding. It'd be an acid or something.
Yeah, probably. That's what they call it in the film as well, isn't it? They call it acid blood or something like that.
Well, I mean,
there's a stratagem for
poison doesn't corrode.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chemist.
Depends on its pH, everybody.
So we haven't really touched on points. I mean, we did a a pre-show.
Points.
We haven't really properly touched points for the new update of points for the.
How do you want to approach it?
Just a general overview. What we think was good, what we think wasn't needed.
Do you want to give us your overall impression first, and then I'll add anything?
I'll give my overall impression. Yeah. So, as I said, again, we did do a pre-show in the premium community group. You can join that by subscribing yourself on premium. Yeah, we saw there's like not a lot went up in points. A couple Gene Sealer's probably got the worst points increase, as in the most stuff went up.
GSC, you mean?
Yeah, Gene Sealer Cults, for example.
Yeah, especially the neophyte hybrids got hit particularly hard.
So we have found a typo. No one else has pointed it out yet. Leakers and stuff like that. But
neophyte hybrids have gone up from 5 points a model to 55.
Yes. So they are 55 points a model currently. I mean, no one's going to make you play them as 55 points, but technically,
rules as written,
10 guardsmen from a Gene Stealer Codex is 550 points. Which is just hilarious. You can take 10 to 20 as well, so you can get 1,100 point unit.
Yeah.
That's the price you pay.
It's about
if it can come up.
It's probably still better value than a Stomper, but
yeah. I mean, you could take 20 and then that would be the only unit you have to deploy.
You could have 20 of those versus 2 Stompers. Be a great game.
That would be hilarious. Do you know for the 50% being on the board, you take 20 neophyte hybrids as 1,100 points. You can deep strike the rest.
No,
just to hide them in a magic box.
Put them under a blip.
Yeah. So overall, I mean, we saw Crimson Hunters and Razor Wings go up, and that was a preview. We've seen that Plague Bearers have gone up a point. Zangors have gone up a point. Demon Princes of Tzeentch from the Thousand Suns Codex have gone up a few points. They're like 180 now with wings rather than 170. But overall, stuff came down.
Yep.
Like Gene Stealers got hit, Plague Bearers got hit, the Flyers got hit, which was fair enough. Overall, everything just got a little bit better. I think like your Necrons had pretty much half the army went down.
Yeah.
Death Guard, half the army went down. I mean, Poxwalkers are like 5 points now, which is really cool.
Yeah.
So I mean, you just get a few more in there if you're running them. I think overall on the meta front, I don't think much changes.
Yeah, like obviously,
if you exclude Marines, because obviously we've had a bit of a rant about
Marines
getting nerfed. So
Marines could change it, eh?
Yeah. So if we exclude Marines in our meta change, I like Tau didn't really the current build didn't change.
Yeah,
really.
the sort of Richard Siegler, Brian Pullen type build that won like the 2 big American events recently. Mm-hmm. Everything like Shield drones have stayed the same, Riptides have stayed the same.
Yeah.
So the commanders have stayed the same. Fusion blasters have got 4 points cheaper.
Yeah.
Brian Pullen was running his Cold Stars with 4 fusions on. So he'll get
a model cheaper.
16 points a model cheaper. So yeah, the sort of meta Tau list is untouched and arguably slightly better.
Yeah.
And some of the stuff that you don't see, like Storm Surge, a fully loaded Storm Surge is like 60 points cheaper now. Which
is really cool. Again, it's just what you've seen is most stuff stayed the same. The super problem units have gone up.
Yeah. I mean, should do a quick like meta watch, like a GSC army, like Nick's. I think we worked out like Nick's LGT list probably gone up about 80 points.
Yeah.
Which doesn't sound a lot, but that really hurts the GSC list because
again, your characters are like 50
point
points.
Characters and stuff.
So you lose 2 characters.
And
someone's pointed out the very common 2 aberrant units with Stop Signs army went up 120 points on those 2 units alone.
Wow.
Really? I mean, I know
Did the Stop Signs go up huge?
I sort of had the aberrants as going up with picks as going up 2 points, so that's like 20 points.
Yeah. I can find out.
Unless the stop sign's gone up loads, I'm not so sure about that.
Did you add?
I didn't look at stop signs. I did put some.
We did units, didn't we? So Kilomorph's gone up 15. Neophyte hybrids have gone up 50, which we think is a typo, but we're not sure. The pick has gone up 3 points.
Let me find
has gone up 3 points.
GSC for us.
So this stop sign, I don't even know what they called it. Everyone just calls them a stop sign.
Call it improvised weapon.
Can we ask if the chat know what a stop sign currently costs?
Yeah. Does anyone know what a stop sign currently costs? But yeah, I mean, most stuff just went down, which is cool because I like you more.
I used like 2,100 points of Blood Angels today.
It's actually called an improvised weapon, isn't it?
Yeah.
Improvised.
Well, what would have been 2,100?
Yeah. Because we were saying like all the chapter specific stuff, like your Sanguinary Guard, your Wolf, and your Raven Wing, all went down in points.
Yeah.
An improvised weapon is still 0 points. So
I can't see how they would have gone up 120.
No. I think you must be looking at leaks that probably aren't right, or
aberrants are still aberrants are 19 points base now.
Yeah.
Excluding war gear.
I mean, the picks went up 3 points a model. So if you're taking 20, that's 60 points.
Yeah, the pick's gone up. The pick's 9 now. So the models are 28 points. Aberrant with a pick is 28 points.
Yeah, so if you're running 20 picks, that's 60 points.
And you get
40, then that's 120. Not sure.
And the sort of guys with the stop signs, you get them free like sergeants, don't you?
Yeah.
And the improvised weapon is 0 points here, so
must be maybe it's incorrect. So I wouldn't panic too much. They're not gone up as much as you think.
It looks like they've gone up like 30 points a squad, which isn't horrendous.
They used to be 125 points with picks. Is that for like a unit of 5? That would make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they were 25 points a model, weren't they? Yeah. So now they're going to be. So let's say they're 250 for 10. Now they're going to be 280.
Yeah.
So you're looking at a 60-point increase if you're taking 2 units of 10 aberrant.
Yeah.
Your Kellamorph's gone up 15.
Yeah, I've run through what you've pointed out here. So, like, obviously 15 for the Kellamorph, 3 for the aberrant with a pick, and 3 for a mining laser.
They've by no means been like...
Heavy improvised weapon.
Heavy improvised weapon's 25.
What were they before?
I don't know, so if the chat could tell us.
Do I have it? I do have it. What's me? I'm prepared, everybody. Heavy improvised weapon. It was 10 points here, so that's gone up to 15.
15, so
Who has that?
There's 2 guys in the squad who've got that.
Okay.
30.
So that's 30 points. Okay. So yeah, 60 points a squad. So that is not insignificant, actually.
Yeah, that's quite a lot, to be fair.
That probably means Nick's list would be up, probably getting on for 150 points.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, because the improvised weapon will be like what guardsmen have or something, won't it? Rather than the heavy improvised weapon.
Yeah.
So our mistake, it did go up a lot.
But they were very good, so...
Yeah. So they are going up 60 points a unit.
They're probably still not bad value.
Who was it who pointed that out? So I apologise for saying you were wrong.
Yeah, thanks for
that. Game Manticore, I apologise. Yeah, you're totally right. So 30 points for the weapons and then 30 points for actually the other weapons as well. So
at first pass, the sort of meta sort of gunline orc list with loads of grots is untouched.
Yeah.
What else we got? We've talked about Marines.
Plague Bearers increased a little bit.
Eldar, Plague Bearers have gone up a point.
Yeah. So army-wide, 90 points.
I think that'll get balanced out because a lot of the CSM stuff's gone down, though.
Yeah, they...
Because like Demon Princes have got cheaper, haven't they? And that'll probably cancel it out.
I don't think the Demon Prince with wings got cheaper, did it?
The what, sorry?
One of the Demon Princes didn't change, did it? Most of them went down, one of them didn't change, some of them went up.
So the Death Guard Demon Prince stayed the same.
That's it, Death Guard.
The Thousand Suns one went up, and then the CSM/Demons one came down.
That's interesting.
Right. So 170 points was the old cost. Now you're looking at 155 for a normal one and then 180 for a Thousand Suns one.
I mean, that list was kind of dying in the meta because of Marines anyway, though.
Yeah.
Eldar, the Plane Army, the Plane's obviously gone up 15 points-ish each.
Yeah.
So you're probably going to lose, if you were taking like 9 before, you're probably going to have to drop a plane somewhere.
Yeah. Game Manticore, just to bring up another point he's made about the aberrants, because I've got to listen, he's definitely right and I'm wrong. Aberrants were good, but so were, say, Riptides, which stayed the same. I don't think aberrants were comparatively that good. So I mean,
there are always winners and losers, and every
aberrants got like hit
approved.
like a brick, but it could just get taken down.
Yeah, the
quite
thing
easily.
with the aberrants, you had to be very skillful to get the best out of them.
Yeah,
and probably like you're only talking like your sort of Nicks and James Mackenzies who could really make them tick.
Yeah, as we said, they got quite a high skill level that like White Scars, Blood Angels will have. Gene Stealer Cults were like, you can't just rock up with Gene Stealer Cults and like nearly win an event. Like
no.
you could say with like, I apologise, Tank, it's come up in the chat as well. I apologise, Tank, again, but like you could just rock up with a list of Iron Hands flyers and do really well.
I mean, I make no bones about it. I did well with that flyer list, and I'm an alright player, but I'm not like a consistent top table player. And that list was like a crutch for me. And like I'm openly admit
it's quite forgiving, that list. I'd say I wouldn't say it's an easy list to play, but it is relatively forgiving.
There is nuances to it, but
like compared to Gene Stealer Cults, it's like that's
it's not.
You need to be playing 4D chess with yourself.
Yeah, like an average player, it'll carry them to kind of 4-1 or whatever.
Yeah. So, the most impactful point drop from this chapter approved was Chaos Space Marines. Chaos Space Marines and Necrons. Necrons had a big points drop, like half the army went down in points, which is super cool. Your most common stuff like your Flyers, your Doomsday Arcs, and your Immortals didn't. Everything else did. So a lot of the more fun units again.
Space Wolves got some massive drops, which aren't enough to. They probably still wouldn't make us middle tier now.
Yeah.
But with our book in the spring, if it's on a similar vein to what Blood Angels have got, I think Wolves could be like a nice solid upper middle tier army.
I'm just looking at the points drops for Space Wolves that you've pointed out, Tank.
The characters are massive.
Murderfang down 45 points.
I know Murderfang was good at the points he was before as well.
Harold Deathwolf gone down 53 points.
Yeah, he's really good.
Is that the guy that Rise the Wolf?
Ragnar Blackbane down 41, which is amazing.
Arjak's probably the biggest bargain.
Arjak down 35 points, 110. I think that's the biggest point drop I've seen is 45 points.
Yeah, Space Marines have got some. Space Wolves have got some massive drops. The only thing is, like, you're not going to be taking all of those characters.
No,
you're
probably you do take one,
2 or 3 of them. Yeah. But I mean, there's 100 points in 2 or 3 of them. So
yeah,
these chairs are good for your spine, aren't they?
Sorry, Great and Clean ones.
You're tougher by being here.
2 Great and Clean ones came down 45 points each.
Wow.
I mean, which is quite a lot on such a large model. Because, I mean, the one with the Doomsday Bell and Baal Sword was 295, and that's 250, which is a really big drop.
Because, they're quite resilient, those boys.
Yeah, and then I'm trying to look at all the big drops. We had a 45-point decrease on the Deceiver. I'm not seeing anything come... Oh, actually, sorry. I think that's a mistake. Yeah, the Necron Lord at 65 and then
Stompers,
to 10.
Stompers come down 100.
Yeah, I don't think they're 10 points.
Stompers down 150.
Still
not. So that's the biggest change.
Maybe wait for the FAQ before you go out buying those Stompers.
Yeah.
So
and Corn Lord of Skulls came down a lot of points, like 150 or something like that per model. Dan Brooks says 3 Lord of Skulls with buffing characters going to get on eBay now. I said I nearly bought one this morning, a Corn Lord of Skulls. So
it's a good deal as well, to be fair.
Yeah. I think Space Wolves might miss the Marine era a second time, though. If Marines don't get pre-Christmas adjustment, they will in March in time for Space Wolves, which I agree.
We kind of missed about... Well, yeah, it was so disappointing, our 1.0 codex. We almost got worse than we were in the index.
I mean, they didn't even stick half the things in.
Well, we lost the 3-up Invulnerable Save Dreads.
Yep.
And Harold Deathwolf's 2-up Invuln went... And they were kind of like our crutches.
Yeah.
Those little dreads with the 3-up Invulns running around with axes.
Dan says some of the old index characters wasn't in chapter approved and still waiting for Warhammer Legends, mostly the mounted ones. Yeah, that's what I saw. Like a lot of the
Warboss on bikes, not in here, is he?
Yeah, a lot of index options weren't in chapter approved, so they're going to get moved to Legends. Steve Turner's in the chat, says Tank brought Iron Hands Flyers Circus to Dutch TT, but here he is whining about it. I mean, you can comment critically on an army just because you took it to an event. You take it because it's good.
Oh yeah, I mean, it costs a lot of money for us to. obviously like fly to Holland, stay in hotels. So
you want to do well with the list. I mean,
I can say think about it. Tank, you're not allowed to critically think about things.
I'm a Space Marine player now, and I've been playing for years, and they are broken right now. You can say that.
It's okay to acknowledge that what you're using is broken.
Because you want to do well in at an event. I mean, Tank's got this beautiful Iron Hands flying circus. It is a flying circus, but it's broken. But
the thing is, it's
I've never understood this mentality of like, to be the best Warhammer player, I must penalise myself and not use all the tools I have at my disposal. Like, no one goes into battle in actual war with a machine gun and think, well, machine gun's a bit meta at the moment. I'm going to try and kill that guy over there with my revolver because it'll make me a better soldier if I do this. Like, no, use the tools you have at your disposal.
There's people who go to tournaments just for like beers and a laugh.
Yeah,
and that like everyone wants a different thing out of the hobby.
Yeah.
But
tournaments,
the idea of a tournament is to try and win.
Yeah, you're there to win, aren't you?
You can actively say that my army is broken, but I'm using it because it's good. But it should be worse.
You're using it because it's broken, and that's fine. You're not cheating.
Like Bon Cod just said, well, if you want to win, you've got to take the most bent stuff, which is fair enough. And the thing is with, like I've experienced it a lot, as you all like to take the mick of. Every time I find something broken, it gets nerfed. So we're actually doing the hobby a favour.
Yeah.
Mikey in his 7th edition, each knight had 2 iron shields.
Shut up, you.
He had an iron shield, and then it said that it replaces the iron shield.
But
if they get an ionic flare shield, but then Mikey was like, but it doesn't have an iron shield. So then he basically, remember you had to declare on a face. So Mikey used to declare on 2 faces.
Yeah.
And here he is.
Well, there you go. Like Raven Guard, the old Raven Guard got nerfed after I started playing them. Then I started playing Inari, and they got nerfed. So obviously they're watching me.
I bought a war convocation, and on the day it was delivered, I got told I wasn't allowed to put anything other than.
Mate, I was so
the drop pod nerf.
The drop pod nerf. Oh, don't talk to me about it.
In 7th, I well wanted to play war convocation, and I didn't get it together in time.
I ordered everything. I started a new job. I ordered everything on my first paycheck, and the day that it arrived was the day that the FAQ or something changed.
Yeah, so basically what they did, they released a big, massive 7th edition FAQ, and they said only Space Marines can get in drop pods, not all your AdMech stuff.
So I was going to be putting like...
Warcon was so cool, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Necron Warriors did not go down, they stayed the same along with Immortals.
I got very salty about them changes.
Yeah. Moon Tyrannid says, that is very true, Mikey. Stay the... away from Tyranids. I'm going to play Tyranids all next year in the ITC just so I can get them nerfed.
Wow.
I'm not really.
Heard it here first. Yeah. Everyone record that.
Said it.
Also, Tank said he was going to take Space Wolves to LVO, so we'll see. If Tank takes Space Wolves to LVO, I'll play Tyranids all next year.
I really fancy your sister's army, but I just don't think that.
I could really ruin your year there, couldn't I?
Yeah, you could. You really could, but I'd ruin your LVO. Which one's the worst?
I can go to another one.
There's plenty more. Play Grey Knights. I'm alright, thanks. I'll leave Toby to that one. So, I think we'll probably have to pretty much round off there. Any closing thoughts, guys, about what you've seen, chapter approved?
No,
Blood of Baal.
In terms of Blood of Baal, I think the Psychic Awakening campaign is a really good step by GW.
It's really, really cool.
Yeah, I really like. I've not had a chance to delve into the fluff too heavily, but from what I've gleaned, it seems very interesting. I like that they're progressing the story. There's lots of hints to other areas where they can go as well, so that's really nice from a lore perspective. And as we talked about before, it's maybe not shattered the game competitively. I mean, Blood Angels are probably up there now with the filthy Space Marines.
Mm-hmm.
But Tyranids, I think it's just give them a lot more flavour elsewhere. I mean, competitive min-maxing win at all costs Warhammer is only a very small part of the hobby.
Yeah.
And whilst it's easy to, when these new releases come out, focus on the competitive side of it, there's so much else that they're adding to the hobby that I still think every book we get is a great addition.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not as if it's like Wardian Ultramarines brokenness.
Well, the thing is, like, any rules is good rules.
Yeah.
You don't have to use them.
Yeah.
If you want them, they're there.
I mean, we've got the Theatre of War stuff, which is completely opt-in. There are the new missions. A lot of the like the name generator, just little bits like that. Like, you're not going to use that in competitive play, but it adds more to the game, and it's nice to see GW thinking outside of the box.
I mean, the game as a whole it's not just competitive, it's all aspects of the hobby is like having fun, having a laugh with your mate, and then playing competitively.
Yeah.
If Tyranids were my favourite army, I would be really gutted though. Because they could have made so much more of it with some little tweaks.
But it is only a supplement and not their codex, so it's not like we
still add to it.
Maybe there's something coming in the codex where this fits in really well.
Because I think like Eldar players were a little bit underwhelmed with theirs, but the Eldar one was better.
For 20 years of being overwhelmed.
The Eldar one was a lot more versatile and buffed them more than this does for Nids.
Yeah, but it's cool the way that they're doing it, where they're not just being like, okay, it is December, we're going to release one book this month, and it is Gene to the Cults. They get all the cool rules. What they're doing is putting like 2 or 3 arms.
We've given you one new model and some points will change. Merry Christmas. Yeah, it's not. It's moved on. I think it's a good step.
Yeah, so I really like the way they're doing it. As I said, Tony's a little bit lackluster, but you've got more stuff to use now, which is just. I mean, if you've been playing Tony's for like 3 years and you've been using like 2 pages of stratagems, you've got an extra 2 pages, which is cool. I mean, it's specific.
You've got your adaptive physiology.
You've just got more stuff to use, which is cool.
The successory chaptery nonsense.
Yeah, I really like the look of Chapter Approved. I said I haven't. I mean, it's release day. We got it a couple of days early, so I haven't had a proper chance to like properly read the entire book. From what I have read, I really, really like it. The new missions look really fun. Maelstrom of War looks really fun. And the stuff like linked games, I'm thinking about a couple of battle reports linking in.
Yeah.
Reenact Caster 4. Should be cool. Throwback if you watch
Battle
those
Caster 4.
David Baxter has said we need a podcast on the lore alone, Elliot.
Yes.
It's one for you and Alex, that, isn't it, really?
So,
maybe we'll do a Christmas special podcast or something.
Maybe. Again, the field manual is... I like that they've given every unit points cost in there, not just changes. What it means is Chapter Approved 2020 will be really easy to compare.
Yeah.
Which is nice. Which is really cool. So
it'd be nice if next year, if they had like the previous and the new points.
Yeah. I mean, that'd make our life so much easier.
Yeah.
Because we're on Battlescribe trying to find the current points cost, but then Battlescribe automatically adds all the weapons, so you have to work out what all the weapons cost and reduce it.
Some are in last year's Chapter Approved, some are in the original codex.
Yeah, some are in their FAQ because you got like the Castellans in the FAQ somewhere, so it's just like, it's really cool. But I think I'll just quickly catch up with the chat, see if there's any interested. Non-Marine bolts still wound sisters on 3+, so sisters bolts have no AP. Marines will ultimately win that. Yeah, sisters that came out look cool. We haven't actually seen the codex. We've heard things. We've seen a bit of stuff.
I've seen a codex.
Yeah, I mean it's
out
not,
today.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
Looks all right. Yeah, it's good.
It's not like, again, it's not Marines, but take Marines out of the equation. The game's really good right now.
Yeah.
Just stop playing the most popular faction in the game and you're fine.
I think that's the people automatically jump to as soon as one army gets a bit broken. Everyone's like, I want to be that army, and they start getting upset when they're not that army.
Yeah.
But we have to remember that it's them that's broken, not the rest of it. It's not like that is now 40k and everything else is broken in comparison.
The game's great.
The game is great, and it's a really, really good place. It's that Space Marines are broken. They're the exception. So
yeah. It's like when Yunari were about. There's just more people.
Yeah, exactly. Yunari was awful.
Yeah,
I don't like crapping on Warhammer because I love it. So
I mean, people go on and on, but it's like everyone's got Marines, haven't they? So that's
the hobby comparatively now is in such a good place compared to where it was 5 years ago that I don't think we can. I don't even think we have the right to know.
All the Forge World stuff is still in the book. Yeah, it's just a couple of the older index options are missing in points, so we'll be interested to see what they do with that. Elliot is here though with the golden mask.
Creepy, isn't it?
But yeah, so I think we're pretty much done. Anything else?
No.
No. So once again, massive shout out to Games Workshop for sending those Chapter Approved.
Yeah, thank you.
And the field manual which comes attached to it. It's one package. It is pre-ordered today, so if you haven't pre-ordered it already, I suggest you do. And it's as it's smaller books, it doesn't have all the points in the back, but there's lots and lots of content in it, which is really cool. And then obviously you have Blood and Baal as well. Elliot is when you show off Blood of Baal with your death maths. You have Blood of Baal, Psychic Awakening 3. Obviously you have the new Mephiston, which is a really cool model. My opinion is Burger Sauce.
Why do you not like that? That's such a cool throwback.
So cool, but I think
it's a cool throwback to really old artwork.
Burger Sauce off his lip, not blood. It's Burger Sauce.
I see him as like wiping blood off his face. I can't.
That's what he's doing. That's the pose.
But that's what I mean. I've not associated with anything else.
I just can't stop thinking about Mephiston out eating a really greasy burger.
It looks like he's sniffing his finger to me.
Yeah, like that.
Raphael, smell this.
Yeah. So again, that Psychic Awakening 3 Blood of Baal is on pre-order today. So if you haven't got that already, do check it out. Order it from someone cool. probably Games Workshop, if not one of your local stores, and keep them open.
Be a great addition to your Warhammer's shopping this Christmas.
Yeah. So thank you everyone for listening live. We've been live on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. If you're listening back on the podcast, you're listening back on iTunes, Spotify, and SoundCloud. If you want to support the podcast, then share it with your friends, tell your buddies, tell Elliot about it. Do you like the podcast?
I like the podcast, yeah.
Tell your friends about it.
Don't like that yet, Crocodile. But...
share it with your friends. If you want to support financially, we've got Patreon, we've got the website, and we've got
only if you can
and stuff like that.
Only if you can. Yeah. Some people can't. That's
Some
fine.
People can't, but your view is the main thing we ask. And if you can't,
I can't support the channel.
No, just share it with your mates. So, Elliot told all his friends about it. So, have you told all your friends about it?
I tell most of them.
Oh, that's right,
the ones that I want to kind of like pretend still that I'm cool in front of, I don't tell about.
Yeah. Well, you're doing it wrong. So, so thank you very much. If you can support, that's amazing. If not, then just keep listening and keep watching the video. So, Elliot, thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you.
It's been
Thanks
a real
for having
pleasure.
me.
No worries. Thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you both and everyone.
Yeah. Thank you very much for tuning in.
And thank you for the game today, Tom.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
Yeah. So we're going to be releasing Blood Angels versus Tyranids this week. And then we've got one more battle report to release that's not chapter approved 19 because it's Elliot and Dan.
I'm in both this week. It's Elliot's week.
Yeah. So
it's Team Manchester week.
Yeah, Team Manchester week. Yeah. So you're gonna do it with me, Elliot.
I am.
We've been Hellstorm Wargaming. You've been fantastic.
Okay, and maybe we'll see you in the next one. Maybe we won't. Life is difficult, and we can't predict these things.
Or you'll hear us in the next one because it's a podcast.
Because we've not got divination.
No, we haven't.
Because that was 7th edition.
Thanks, Elliot. Okay, guys, thank you very much, and we'll catch you later.
Au revoir.